and burn.
Hey everyone. So tonight I am looking to discuss the 2007 film What We Do Is Secret. Now, of course, this tells the story about the... Jesus, I can't seem to talk tonight. This tells the story of the Germs. I have it on here, so I keep sort of like looking over at it. I'm attempting to do this, but there it is. And so I'm trying to stay focused here, but I should probably have turned that off. Hey, sorry to sort of jump in on myself in my own video, but you are currently dealing with 5 a.m. Adam, and he's not necessarily the most coherent person. This is 11:30 p.m. the following day, Adam, and I have complete control of all of my faculties, and I'm jumping in here to point out how yesterday I neglected to point out the connection between this movie and Penelope Spheeris's theatrical directorial debut from way back in, I believe, 83, and that's Suburbia. At the 47-minute and 58-second mark in this movie, an audience member, when the Germs are on stage, out of nowhere yells out, "How'd you like the long end of this rifle up your ass?" And it has no place in this movie whatsoever. However, the dude that says it looks a lot like the guy that played Skinner in Penelope Spheeris's movie Suburbia. And at I can't remember the point in Suburbia, I'm sure I'll put the time up on the screen, he gets into an argument with two dudes who are in the TR Kids neighborhood killing stray dogs, and they see Skinner, and because he's a skinhead, of course, and they don't really know what a skinhead is, they assume he's going to war or something. So he says, "Hey kid, where's the war?" And Skinner says, "Up your ass." And then the guy replies back, "Up my ass? How would you like it if I shoved a long end of this rifle up your ass?" So I thought that was really neat that the director of this movie found a way to tie his movie, back into Penelope Spheeris's first theatrical outing. But yeah, so back to the less coherent and sort of all over the place 5 a.m. from yesterday me. Sorry. Or whatever. I'm not sorry. So I thought that was kind of cool because I know that the director of this movie was heavily influenced by Spheeris's The Decline of Western Civilization. And so he set out after film school to make a movie about the Germs, and he wanted to make one as honest as that documentary. Now, this movie's amazing. This movie is honest. This movie is very real feeling, but it feels very real, sorry. But at the same time, here and there, it does feel a little clean. Like Shane West's performance, like his portrayal, of Darby Crash was amazing. But I will say he sounded at times a little too articulate. Darby Crash kind of had that "give me a beer" thing that Shane West does a couple times regarding the word beer in this movie. But other than that, it's almost like Shane West is more like being Shane West. Because all the interviews I've seen with Darby, and unfortunately there's not exactly a ton of them, he always sort of had that ear to everything he said. And so I suppose that's my one criticism is that at times this movie's a little clean. And my other criticism would be that Shane West's performance on the sort of the spoken side of things were a little too clean, I guess. Again, I'll use the word clean. The movie looks a little too clean. Shane West's speech is a little too clean. But anyways, yeah, this movie's amazing. I believe everybody, Bayou Phillips is in this. Jesus Christ, who else is in this? Oh, that's right. The guys in the Bronx, they play Black Flag, which I thought was kind of cool. I've never really gotten into the Bronx, but I still thought it was sort of neat that they got involved in the movie by way of pretending to be Black Flag. I like how there's a lot of old school punk rock representation in this. I like how they show Claude Bessie's in this, otherwise known as Kickboy Face from Catholic Discipline. He wrote for Slash, the zine. He's represented in this. The guys in The Damned show up in this. Joan Jett is shown sleeping, which apparently that's all she did during the recording sessions for the GI, Germs Incognito, which is their only full length. She was brought on as a producer, but according to the people in the band, she just kind of hung out and slept. She's also in this movie. I can't remember who she plays. She's not in it very much, but she is in it like that. So Joan Jett does technically pop up in this. I also like how they definitely get to Belinda Carlisle's involvement, even though, again, the Belinda Carlisle aspect does show how this film sort of sanitizes some aspects of the Germs' history. It says here in this movie that Belinda Carlisle was unable to join the Germs due to stage fright. But in reality, Belinda Carlisle had mono, so she had to drop out. So you see what I mean? Where again, it's and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not really knocking the movie for that. The movie's not perfect. And the clean aspects are, I suppose, the things that bother me the most, but they don't even really bother me. I love this movie. This movie's awesome. It's fun. It's rhythmic. Like, it's like scene after scene, they just sort of bounce off, and you're like, boom, oh my God, he's in England. He's discovering Adam and the Ants. He comes back with a nice mohawk. It's a Mohican. And it's just, the movie has such, there's like a, sort of like a visual poetry at play for me, because I just find this movie so effortless. Like, I can just sort of get lost in sort of the swirl of it. And then before long, the movie's over, and I'm starting it over again, which I've done for the third time tonight. And I mean, I liked everything about this movie. It felt fun. It felt real. It felt honest. A little too clean at times. I loved the music, and I also loved how involved, like, Pat Smear came on as the producer, and he ended up, if I'm not mistaken, employing the Germs to do the music, like the actual Germs, to do the music. And Shane West's performance as Darby Crash were so spot on that it caused the Germs to low-key reform and play a series of shows under, as the Germs, because West's performance and his sort of embodiment of Darby Crash was just so fucking spot on, which I couldn't agree with more, again, other than maybe the speech stuff, but maybe that's just me. Now, the end of this movie, where Darby and Casey Cola decide to go off and kill themselves, Casey Cola's interpretation of the end, which, actually, you know what? I'm going to do another video about Casey Cola, so I'll just leave that alone, because I take issue with her retelling of what happened. According to her, she woke up holding him. The movie doesn't show it that way, so I don't know if that means, like, the writer/director sort of took issue with her saying that as well, because whenever I watch the video, I'll put a link in the description. There's the full-length punk documentary called Surf Punks LA. It's from Holland, I believe, and it's kick-ass. Like, it's an hour long. It's on YouTube. Like I said, I'll toss the link in the description, but there's also a separate video on YouTube of just the 6 or 7 minute interview with Casey Cola from that documentary. And assuming I can find that, I'll toss that up too. But there's something about her recounting of what happened. It just seems a little too sweet, like a little too, something about it just doesn't seem the most honest. But yeah, let's see, make sure that oh yeah, that's right, the movie was completely self-financed. Shane West, if I'm not mistaken, even ended up kicking in some of his own cash in order to ensure the film would be completed. And the movie, if I'm not mistaken, it took like 8 or 9 years Bayou Phillips, who was hired on to play Lorna Doom, she was, I believe, 17 when she was originally cast in, and she was in her almost mid-20s. I think she was in her mid-20s, by the time the movie concluded. So it's nice that everybody really saw it through. And I mean, if you see the movie, you'll understand why. This thing it's sort of hypnotic. It's like I said, there's like a visual poetry at play. There's just something so bright and so inclusive about it. You just kind of get lost, and I keep looking over at it again, sorry, but it's just really fun. And of course, a few people have mentioned that they wouldn't mind if the videos ran a little long, so here it is. I let myself ramble a little more than usual without sort of reining it in like I usually do, at least somewhat. This video's running 9 minutes, but I think that's everything I wanted to say. Yeah. The Suburbia connection I thought was really cool, and I can't believe I haven't noticed it like the 100 other times I've watched this movie. But look, that's it. So, listen, if anybody knows anything about Casey Cola, put it in the comments, eh? But yeah, like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But the most important thing here is please don't forget that you fucking kick ass, and I hope you appreciate this longer video because it feels really awkward. I'm getting out of here because I'm starting to get really, really warm. Have a good morning or a good night or wherever you are, because for me it's 5:15 in the a.m. See you around. Probably soon. Jeez, it's getting awkward. Bye.